Hey Booktube, I'm coming at you today with the Booktube Newbie Tag. So I'm just going to go through and answer the questions. I did take out one of the questions because I didn't really have an answer for it, and so I just decided to take that one out. So there's, I think, 9 questions in total, so we'll just get started. The first one is, why did you start this channel? I've been thinking about starting a Booktube channel for a long time. I just never have. And then with everything that's going on with the coronavirus and being at home and having a lot of time, I finally broke down and did it. And I just wanted another place to be able to talk about books because I read a lot and I have a lot of friends who don't necessarily read as much as I do. So I figured this would be a good place for me to discuss books and be a part of a community. Question number 2. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? That I'm not really sure what to say. I think I'll probably bring the usual stuff. I think my wide-ranging reading taste will be something I can bring to Booktube. I'm not sure if that's fun or unique in any way, but I do think that that is a benefit to Booktube, since a lot of the people who make Booktube videos read YA. That is changing, but I think that someone who reads a wide variety of books is missing from the Booktube community in some aspects, so I think that will be something I can bring to the Booktube table, so to speak. Question number 3. What are you most excited for about this new channel? I'm most excited to talk about books, of course, and to possibly make some new friends and just be a part of the community. Next question is, why do you love reading? I love reading for a lot of reasons. The first one being that it's an escape. I also like to read to gain knowledge. I have a ton of nonfiction books, as you can see over here, and so I read to gain knowledge. I read to learn things. I read because it's one of the things I enjoy, and I don't like to watch TV, so reading is my main pastime. And so, yeah, escape, knowledge, all of those things are part of why I read, and I've read for a long time, so it's sort of ingrained into me at this point. What book series got you into reading? What book or series got you into reading, I should say. I don't think there was any specific book or series necessarily. My parents read to me when I was a child, and that sort of started my love of reading. I was obsessed with the Bernstein Bear books when I was a kid. And then as I got older, I was into like the Boxcar Children and the Babysitter's Club. My dad read me The Hobbit when I was a kid, and so that sort of started my love of fantasy. And so, yeah, I can't specifically point to one book or series. I just think it was the fact that my parents made sure that they read to me all the time. And so that was important and to them and to me. And so that started my whole love of reading. Next question. What challenges do you think there will be starting a Booktube channel? And I think the challenges for me anyway are going to be the technology aspects. I would like to edit my videos, but I haven't yet figured out how to do that. The program I downloaded, I can't figure out. So yeah, we shall see. I'm currently pulling a Steve Donahue and just uploading them unedited, but it bugs me, so who knows. And then the other challenge is gaining subscribers and getting my channel out there, because I don't really want to tell people who know me in real life about my channel, so therefore that kind of puts a damper on me getting some subscribers right away. So yeah, those are the 2 challenges that I foresee with this. The third to last question asks, when did you start reading? As I said, my parents read to me when I was a kid, and I honestly don't remember exactly when I started reading on my own. I think it was probably when I was like 5 or 6. I don't know. I was making up stories long before then. I was reading before I could actually really read. I would pick up a book and pretend like I was reading it and make up the story as I went. But I don't remember the exact point in time where I was able to read a book on my own. I don't remember how old I was. But I would imagine I was probably, kindergarten, first grade, somewhere in there. I'm not positive. The second to last question is, where do you read? I typically read in my living room, on my couch, or in my recliner. When the weather's nice, I like to read outside on my porch. And sometimes I read in bed, but it's not super comfortable for me to read in bed because I don't have anything to lean against. Because my headboard has like shelves in it, so you can't really lean against it. But mostly I read in my living room on my couch, or in the recliner. That's usually the spot that I read and where all my books that I'm reading are located. And then the final question is, what kind of books do you like to read? And this is a loaded question. I like to read a lot of different kinds of books. As you can see behind me, sci-fi, fantasy. I also like to read classics, nonfiction, as I pointed to over here, and then some historical fiction, some, I guess what they call literary fiction. Sci-fi fantasy is probably my favorite, and then classics and nonfiction. When it comes to nonfiction, I love to read anything involving science, whether it's astronomy, genetics is one of my favorite subjects to read about, nature, and then various travel type books. I also like to read about different countries, like Turkey or England, and about the Tudors, and the history of England is fascinating to me. I'm a total Anglophile. So yeah, I love to read a lot of different genres and a lot of different types of books. So my reading tastes are quite eclectic. One of my favorite classics authors is Charles Dickens. I have Charles Dickens collection back there of fancy Charles Dickens books. And then with sci-fi fantasy, some of my favorite authors are N.K. Jemisin, Patrick Rothfuss, Kim Stanley Robinson. Who else? I have a lot of different favorite authors when it comes to sci-fi fantasy. Sue Berkey, who I talked about in my April wrap-up. So yeah, a lot of different favorite authors, a lot of different genres that I read. It really just depends on what I'm interested in at the time. I'm definitely a mood reader, so that comes into play when I choose what books I'm going to be reading next. So yeah, that's the different kinds of books I like to read, some of my favorite authors, and that is the end of this tag. Thanks, Booktube.